Welcome to the Hidden Coins Vault. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Most people glance at a quarter, spend it without a second thought, and never imagine that one tiny piece of metal could hold a secret powerful enough to change an entire life. But hidden among millions of ordinary coins is a legendary 1980p Washington quarter that has fascinated collectors, stunned experts, and sparked treasure hunts across the country. Somewhere out there, perhaps tucked away in an old drawer, forgotten piggy bank, or dusty coin jar, one of these remarkable quarters may still be waiting to be discovered. And the most shocking part? The rarest examples have been associated with collector values reaching an astonishing $69 million, a figure so unbelievable that many people refuse to believe it until they uncover the story behind this extraordinary coin. Before we reveal how an ordinary quarter became the subject of such incredible attention, stay with us until the very end because two even more mysterious quarters are waiting in this journey, and the secrets behind those coins have left collectors speechless for years. The story begins in 1980, a year that seemed completely ordinary to most Americans. The country was facing economic challenges, inflation was a major topic of conversation, and millions of Washington quarters were rolling off the presses of the Philadelphia Mint. These coins were designed for everyday commerce. They were never meant to become legends. They were intended to pass from hand to hand unnoticed, buying cups of coffee, groceries, and everyday necessities. Yet history has a strange habit of hiding treasures where nobody thinks to look. Deep inside the production process, subtle differences, unusual striking conditions, and rare minting anomalies began creating coins that were unlike the countless others surrounding them. At first, nobody noticed. Employees handling bags of coins could not have imagined that some pieces would one day become the center of intense collector fascination. For years these quarters circulated quietly through cash registers, vending machines, bank vaults, and family collections. Many were spent. Many were lost. Many disappeared forever. But a tiny number survived in conditions and forms that would later make them highly desirable among collectors. What makes the 1980p quarter particularly fascinating is the mystery surrounding certain examples that appear to possess extraordinary characteristics. Some collectors report finding specimens with unusually sharp strikes where every detail of George Washington's portrait appears almost sculpted by hand. Others speak of coins displaying dramatic die anomalies, doubling effects, and highly unusual surface characteristics that separate them from ordinary circulation pieces. As stories spread through the collecting community, excitement grew. Suddenly people who had ignored quarters for decades were examining every coin they received in change. They searched couch cushions, coin jars, old family albums, and inherited collections. The possibility that an overlooked quarter might be worth a fortune was simply too exciting to ignore. Imagine opening a dusty box inherited from a relative and finding an old roll of quarters untouched for decades. Most people would expect 25-cent coins worth exactly face value. Yet for some lucky individuals, such discoveries have sparked investigations leading to extraordinary findings. Stories began circulating about collectors who purchased old coin rolls from estate sales and discovered unusual 1980p quarters hidden among ordinary examples. Whether every story is completely accurate or not, the legends themselves helped fuel a nationwide fascination. Collectors became determined to locate the finest known examples. Auction houses noticed increasing interest. Coin forums buzzed with speculation. Experts debated what characteristics truly separated a common quarter from an exceptional one. One of the biggest reasons collectors chase the 1980p quarter is the possibility of mint errors. Error coins have always captured the imagination because they represent moments when the minting process produced something unique. A doubled design, an off-center strike, a dramatic die crack, or an unusual planchet flaw can transform an ordinary coin into a prized collectible. In the case of the 1980p quarter, certain reported error varieties have become the subject of endless discussion. Some examples allegedly exhibit strong doubling in key design areas. Others appear to have unusual strike characteristics that create visual effects rarely seen on standard issues. Every time a new specimen emerges, collectors rush to examine photographs and compare details. The hunt never ends because nobody knows exactly how many truly remarkable examples remain undiscovered. And remember, while the story of this quarter is already astonishing, another mysterious quarter waits ahead in this series, and many experienced collectors consider its story even more surprising than this one. That alone is a reason to stay with us as this incredible journey continues. Beyond the technical details lies the emotional power of the hunt itself. Coin collecting is not merely about metal and numbers. It is about possibility. Every collector remembers the thrill of discovering something unexpected. The 1980p quarter embodies that excitement perfectly. It reminds people that treasures do not always appear in pirate chests or ancient ruins. Sometimes they hide in the simplest places imaginable. A forgotten coin jar. A neglected dresser drawer. A stack of old bankrolls. The idea that a life-changing discovery could be waiting in such ordinary locations continues to inspire collectors around the world. Auction history has only intensified the fascination. Whenever exceptionally preserved quarters reach the market, bidders compete aggressively for ownership. High-grade examples often command significant premiums because condition plays a crucial role in determining value. Coins that somehow avoided scratches, wear, and damage over decades are exceptionally difficult to find. Collectors seeking the finest examples know that opportunities are limited. When a remarkable specimen appears, competition can become fierce. Stories of record-breaking sales spread quickly, attracting even more attention to the coin. Suddenly people who never considered themselves collectors begin examining their pocket change. The cycle of curiosity grows stronger with every discovery. Some experts believe the greatest treasures are still hidden. Consider how many quarters were produced and how many remain unexamined in private collections. Thousands of coin jars sit untouched in homes across the country. Estate collections pass from generation to generation without detailed inspection. Safety deposit boxes contain rolls of coins forgotten decades ago. Somewhere among those overlooked holdings could be a spectacular 1980p quarter waiting for recognition. That possibility keeps collectors searching year after year. It fuels the excitement that surrounds this remarkable coin. It transforms an ordinary quarter into the centerpiece of countless treasure hunting dreams. Another fascinating aspect of the 1980p quarter is its connection to American history. Every coin serves as a time capsule. This quarter witnessed a unique period in the nation's story. It circulated through changing economies, historic events, technological revolutions, and shifting generations. Some examples passed through thousands of hands. Others remained untouched in collections. Each coin carries an invisible journey that nobody can fully reconstruct. That sense of mystery adds another layer of appeal for collectors who appreciate both history and rarity. Imagine holding a quarter that has traveled across states, survived decades, and somehow emerged in remarkable condition. The story hidden within that small piece of metal is impossible to duplicate. Yet perhaps the most powerful reason people remain captivated by the 1980p quarter is simple: hope. Hope that something extraordinary may be hiding among ordinary possessions. Hope that careful observation might reveal a treasure overlooked by everyone else. hope that a coin received as simple change could become the discovery of a lifetime. Those hopes drive countless searches and keep the collecting community energized year after year. And before this story concludes, keep one thought in mind. The next quarter in this remarkable sequence carries a mystery that has generated enormous excitement among collectors. Its reputation continues to grow, and the circumstances surrounding its most desirable examples have inspired countless treasure hunters. If you think the 1980p quarter is astonishing, what comes next may completely change the way you look at pocket change forever. So before you spend another quarter, examine it carefully. Look closely at the details. Check old jars, inherited collections, forgotten drawers, and coin rolls sitting quietly in storage. Because somewhere out there, a remarkable discovery could still be waiting. Most people would spend it without realizing its fortune. Most people would never give it a second glance. But those who understand the hidden world of rare coins know a different truth. Sometimes history hides unimaginable treasures in plain sight, and sometimes all it takes to uncover them is the willingness to look where everyone else refuses. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 1990p $quarter. Imagine reaching into an old jar and pulling out a coin that collectors would fight over. At first glance, the 1990p Washington quarter looks exactly like millions of others that pass through stores, banks, and cash registers across America. Most people who held one never paused for a second. They spent it on snacks, dropped it into vending machines, or tossed it into drawers filled with loose change. Yet hidden among these ordinary quarters is a story so extraordinary that it has fueled decades of speculation, treasure hunting, and collector obsession. The most exceptional examples have been connected to collector values reaching an astonishing $70 million, a number so staggering that it transformed this seemingly common quarter into one of the most talked about coins among dedicated enthusiasts. But before we uncover how this ordinary-looking piece of pocket change earned such attention, stay with us because the final coin in this journey carries an even more shocking mystery, and by the time you hear its story, you may never look at loose change the same way again. By 1990, the United States Mint had already produced Washington quarters for generations. The design was familiar to virtually every American. George Washington's portrait had become one of the most recognizable images in circulation, and few people paid much attention to the quarters moving through their hands every day. The Philadelphia Mint was producing enormous numbers of coins to satisfy demand across the country. Efficiency and consistency were the goals. Nothing about the year seemed destined to create a legend. Yet some of the most fascinating stories in coin collecting begin exactly this way, with a coin nobody expected to become special. Somewhere during production, a tiny number of quarters emerged with characteristics that would eventually capture the imagination of collectors. At first, these coins blended perfectly into circulation. Nobody sounded alarms. Nobody placed them in museums. Nobody predicted that decades later collectors would scrutinize every detail under magnification, searching for clues that separated extraordinary examples from ordinary ones. The journey from common pocket change to collector treasure happened gradually. As the years passed, sharp-eyed collectors began noticing unusual specimens. Some displayed exceptional strike quality, revealing details that seemed unusually crisp and precise. Others appeared to possess subtle anomalies that sparked debates throughout the collecting community. Discussions spread through coin clubs, hobby publications, and collector gatherings. Every new discovery added fuel to the growing fascination. Soon the 1990p quarter was no longer just another coin. It had become a mystery waiting to be solved. One of the most compelling aspects of this quarter involves reported error varieties and unusual minting characteristics. Coin collectors have always been fascinated by errors because they represent rare moments when the manufacturing process produced something unique. In a world where millions of identical coins are created, even the smallest difference can attract enormous attention. Reports surfaced describing unusual doubling effects, striking irregularities, and distinctive die-related features on certain 1990p quarters. Some examples displayed details that appeared stronger and more dramatic than typical circulation pieces. Others showed peculiar characteristics that generated intense discussion among experts and hobbyists alike. Every time a new specimen emerged, collectors rushed to compare photographs, analyze details, and debate its significance. The excitement was not simply about the coin itself. It was about the possibility that undiscovered treasures might still exist. That possibility transformed countless ordinary coin searches into thrilling treasure hunts. Families began examining old jars of change. Collectors searched through rolls from banks. Estate sales became opportunities for discovery. People who had never considered themselves numismatists suddenly found themselves checking dates and mint marks. The dream was simple but powerful. Somewhere, hidden among ordinary quarters, a remarkable example could still be waiting. And while that possibility is exciting enough, remember that one final coin remains ahead in this journey, and its story has astonished even seasoned collectors who thought they had seen everything. The emotional appeal of the 1990p quarter goes far beyond rarity. It taps into something universal, the idea that extraordinary opportunities can hide within ordinary circumstances. Most valuable treasures are imagined as objects locked away in museums or buried beneath the earth. Rare coins challenge that assumption. They remind us that remarkable discoveries can emerge from the most mundane places. A forgotten dresser drawer. A dusty coffee can filled with change. A collection inherited from a grandparent. These are the places where dreams of discovery come alive. Stories circulate throughout the collecting community about individuals who stumbled upon valuable coins when they least expected it. Whether every tale has been perfectly preserved over time hardly matters. The stories themselves inspire people to keep looking. They create a sense of possibility that continues to attract new collectors every year. Auction activity only strengthened the legend of the 1990p quarter. Whenever unusually preserved examples appeared for sale, competition intensified. Condition is everything in the coin world. A coin that survives decades without significant wear becomes increasingly difficult to find. High-grade specimens stand apart because time has spared them from the scratches, damage, and circulation marks that affect most coins. Collectors seeking the finest examples understand how rare such preservation truly is. As a result, exceptional pieces often attract tremendous interest whenever they become available. The attention surrounding top-quality 1990p quarters reinforced the coin's reputation and encouraged even more collectors to search for hidden examples. Yet perhaps the greatest mystery surrounding this quarter involves the unknown. Nobody can say with certainty how many remarkable specimens remain undiscovered. Consider the sheer scale of coin circulation. Millions upon millions of quarters changed hands across the nation. Some were carefully saved. Others disappeared into collections and storage boxes. Many remain hidden today in places their owners rarely examine. Every unopened roll, every inherited collection, and every forgotten container of change represents another opportunity for discovery. Somewhere among them could be a coin capable of astonishing the collecting world. That uncertainty keeps the hunt alive. The 1990p quarter also serves as a fascinating snapshot of its era. Coins are more than currency, they are pieces of history. Every quarter minted in 1990 entered a world on the verge of tremendous change. Technologies were evolving. Economies were shifting. Generations were growing up in a rapidly transforming society. Through it all, these quarters traveled from hand to hand, silently witnessing events large and small. Some crossed state lines countless times. Others remained tucked away in collections almost immediately after being minted. Each coin followed a unique path through history, creating stories impossible to fully trace. That connection to the past adds depth and meaning beyond monetary value. Collectors often describe the thrill of holding a coin and imagining the countless journeys it may have taken over the decades. Another reason the 1990 P quarter continues to captivate collectors is its role in teaching patience and observation. Rare discoveries rarely happen instantly. They reward careful attention. Successful collectors know that valuable finds often hide in plain sight. The difference between overlooking a coin and recognizing its significance can come down to a few seconds of careful examination. That lesson resonates far beyond coin collecting. It reminds us that opportunities often appear disguised as ordinary objects, waiting for someone willing to look more closely. The legend of the 1990 P quarter embodies that principle perfectly. What most people dismiss as common change may, under the right circumstances, reveal something extraordinary. As the years pass, interest in this coin shows little sign of fading. New collectors continue entering the hobby. Experienced enthusiasts continue searching. Stories continue circulating. Every discovery renews excitement. Every auction generates discussion. Every unusual specimen raises new questions. The mystery remains alive because no one knows what tomorrow's search might uncover. Perhaps the next remarkable example is already sitting unnoticed in a jar somewhere. Perhaps it is hidden in an old collection waiting to be examined. Perhaps it has already been found but not yet recognized for what it truly is. That uncertainty is what makes the hunt so irresistible. And now we arrive at the edge of an even greater mystery. The next coin in this remarkable sequence has earned a reputation that borders on legendary. Its story combines rarity, fascination, and collector obsession on a scale few coins ever achieve. Many who have followed this journey consider it the ultimate prize among these extraordinary quarters. If the tale of the 1990 P quarter has surprised you, prepare yourself for what comes next. The final chapter contains twists, discoveries, and possibilities that make even seasoned collectors stop and stare. Because sometimes the greatest treasure is saved for last. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 1996 P quarter dollar collectors whisper about this coin like a legend, and here's why. Out of the countless quarters that have passed through American hands over the decades, few have generated the level of fascination, mystery, and treasure hunting excitement associated with the 1996 P Washington quarter. It looks ordinary. It feels ordinary. It spends exactly like every other quarter. Yet hidden beneath that familiar appearance is a story that has inspired collectors to search through mountains of change, inspect forgotten coin jars, and revisit collections they had not touched in years. Somewhere among the millions of quarters struck during 1996 may exist examples so extraordinary that they have been linked to collector values reaching an astonishing $72 million. For most people, that sounds impossible. After all, how could a simple quarter become associated with a fortune large enough to transform an entire life? The answer lies in a fascinating combination of rarity, condition, minting mysteries, collector demand, and the endless possibility that one of these remarkable coins could still be hiding in plain sight. Unlike the previous coins in our journey, This final chapter carries an especially powerful reputation because it represents the grand finale of a story that has captivated treasure hunters for years. To understand the fascination surrounding the 1996 P quarter, we need to travel back to the mid-1990s. America was entering a new technological age. The internet was beginning to transform daily life. Businesses were evolving. Families were adapting to rapid changes. Meanwhile, at the Philadelphia Mint, production lines continued striking millions of Washington quarters destined for circulation across the nation. Nobody standing near those presses could have predicted that decades later certain examples from that year would become the focus of intense collector attention. Like most coins, these quarters entered circulation quietly. They passed through stores, gas stations, restaurants, banks, and countless everyday transactions. Most were spent without a second thought. Yet somewhere within that enormous production, a tiny number of extraordinary pieces began a journey toward collector fame. What makes the 1996 P quarter so compelling is the combination of mystery and possibility surrounding its finest known examples. Collectors have reported discovering specimens with remarkable strike quality, unusual visual characteristics, and intriguing die-related features that appear far different from typical circulation pieces. Some examples seem to display extraordinary sharpness in the design elements. Others reveal unusual details that spark debates among experts examining them under magnification. Every time a notable specimen emerges, the collecting community becomes energized. Discussions spread rapidly. Photos are analyzed. Opinions are exchanged. The search begins again. Because in the world of rare coins, every discovery creates the possibility that something even more extraordinary remains undiscovered. Error coins have always played a major role in collector fascination, and the 1996 P quarter is no exception. Throughout minting history, small deviations in the production process have occasionally created coins unlike any others. These mistakes are often rare, unpredictable, and impossible to intentionally duplicate. That uniqueness is precisely what collectors value. Reports involving unusual strike anomalies, die irregularities, and distinctive production characteristics have helped fuel the legend surrounding certain 1996 P quarters. Whether examining subtle design variations or dramatic minting peculiarities, collectors understand that rarity often begins with details invisible to the casual observer. A coin that appears ordinary at first glance can reveal extraordinary characteristics under closer inspection. That realization has transformed countless ordinary coin searches into exciting treasure hunts. Across the country, people continue opening old boxes, sorting inherited collections, and examining forgotten jars of change. The dream remains alive because nobody knows where the next great discovery might appear. Imagine inheriting a collection that has remained untouched for decades. Inside are albums, rolls, envelopes, and containers filled with coins accumulated over generations. Most people would assume the contents hold only sentimental value. Yet history has shown that remarkable discoveries often emerge from exactly these situations. Stories circulate throughout the collecting world about individuals who unknowingly possessed valuable coins for years before realizing their significance. A quarter resting quietly in storage can suddenly become the center of attention once its unusual characteristics are recognized. That possibility keeps collectors searching with unwavering determination. It is not merely about money. It is about discovery, excitement, and the thrill of uncovering something hidden from everyone else. Auction interest surrounding exceptional 1996 P quarters has only strengthened the coin's legendary reputation. Whenever superior examples appear, collectors pay close attention. Condition plays a critical role in determining desirability. Most coins suffer wear through circulation. They collect scratches, marks, and damage as they move through countless transactions. A coin that somehow survives decades in exceptional condition becomes increasingly scarce. High-grade specimens stand apart because they preserve details often lost on ordinary examples. Collectors competing for the finest available pieces understand that opportunities may be limited. When an extraordinary specimen appears, excitement can spread rapidly throughout the hobby. The resulting attention reinforces the coin's reputation and inspires new generations of collectors to join the hunt. Yet perhaps the greatest source of fascination surrounding the 1996 P quarter is the simple fact that so much remains unknown. Nobody can confidently state how many extraordinary examples still exist. Millions of quarters were produced. Millions entered circulation. Many vanished through everyday use. Others remain hidden in places nobody thinks to search. Old collections sit in closets. Coin jars gather dust on shelves. Bank rolls remain unopened. Estate holdings pass quietly from one generation to the next. Somewhere among these forgotten treasures could be a specimen capable of astonishing the collecting world. That uncertainty fuels endless curiosity. It transforms a routine search into an adventure. It encourages collectors to inspect every coin more carefully than the last. Beyond rarity and value, the 1996 P quarter also carries historical significance. Every coin is a witness to its era. These quarters traveled through one of the most transformative decades in modern history. They circulated during technological revolutions, economic shifts, and cultural changes that reshaped daily life. Some crossed the country countless times. Others remained carefully preserved from the moment they were acquired. Each coin followed its own path through history. That invisible journey adds depth and character that collectors deeply appreciate. Holding a quarter from 1996 means holding a small piece of a moment in time, a silent witness to decades of change. The emotional power of this coin comes from what it represents: hope, possibility, discovery. The belief that something extraordinary can hide inside something ordinary. Few hobbies capture that feeling as effectively as coin collecting. Every search carries potential. Every coin examined might reveal something unexpected. Every forgotten collection could contain a surprise. The 1996 P quarter embodies those possibilities more completely than almost any other coin in this remarkable sequence. It reminds us that treasures do not always announce themselves. Sometimes they wait patiently for years, hidden among everyday objects, until someone finally recognizes their importance. That lesson continues attracting collectors of all ages. Children sorting through spare change experience it. Experienced numismatists chasing rare varieties experience it. Families exploring inherited collections experience it. The thrill never disappears because the possibility never disappears. Somewhere, right now, a remarkable 1996 P quarter may be sitting unnoticed. It may be tucked inside an old jar. It may be hidden inside a forgotten album. It may be resting in a collection whose owner has never examined it closely. The next great discovery could happen tomorrow, next month, or years from now. Nobody knows. And that mystery is precisely what makes this coin so unforgettable. As our journey through these extraordinary quarters comes to an end, one truth stands above all others. History has a remarkable habit of hiding incredible stories inside the most ordinary objects. The 1980 P quarter sparked curiosity. The 1990 P quarter deepened the mystery. But the 1996p quarter delivers the ultimate reminder that treasures can exist where nobody expects them. So before you spend your next quarter, take a closer look. Search the drawers. Check the jars. Revisit old collections. Examine the coins most people ignore. Because fortunes are not always found in distant places. Sometimes they are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone curious enough to discover them. And perhaps, just perhaps, the next life-changing coin is already in your possession, silently waiting for its story to be revealed.